Good afternoon, Colin here with Techout, and the time has finally come. We have hit 200 cycles here on my iPhone 16 Pro Max. This is a release day 16 Pro Max that I got back in September. Original battery, everything is all original and everything like that. As you can see here, 200 cycles, and we are at 100% maximum capacity. I actually had this connected to coconut battery last night, and it shows you kind of like the extended battery health. What I mean by that is this just shows 0 to 100%. And a lot of people ask, well, how come after, once it gets to 99%, why does it seem to drop faster? And the reason for that is because the maximum capacity is not actually 100% when the battery is brand new. That is kind of just a relative range. Most new batteries have anywhere between 102, 103-ish% of their rated capacity when they're new. That way, the rated capacity is basically like you're guaranteed to get at least that, but they usually have a little bit of wiggle room in there to get you a little bit more. That way, manufacturing differences in batteries, differences in conditions and stuff like that, you're not starting off at 99% or something like that. So the reason it stays at 100% so long is you're actually kind of dropping 3% before you actually see it drop on here to 99%. So if you use something like coconut battery on your Mac, you can plug your iOS device into it and you can actually see the actual battery health on there. And at 200 cycles, mine was still showing 102%. I think it was 102.3. So we're doing very, very well. I'm pretty impressed on how well this phone is doing. I don't do any kind of anything to kind of help the battery. I do have the power mode set to adaptive here on iOS 26, which is an iOS 26 feature. So that's only been on for about a month now. But as far as anything else, I just use my phone and I charge it when it needs to be charged. I don't use any of the charge limit. I never have on this phone. It does have the optimized battery charging on, so it doesn't complete the charge until I'm about to wake up. Most nights right now I haven't been setting an alarm, so this actually doesn't kick in most nights. If I have like an alarm set, it'll usually finish charging like an hour to 30 minutes before the alarm is scheduled to go off. But other than that, it really doesn't do anything. So very impressed with the battery longevity here on the iPhone 16 Pro Max. And I think a lot of people have been pretty impressed with it as well. I've seen a couple people, once you get to about 250 to 260 cycles, that's where people usually start to drop in battery health. But with me being 102% still, it hasn't really gone down all that much. So I'm going to keep doing what I'm doing. I use a wireless charger all the time. I use a wireless charger in my car. I have a car mount, a MagSafe car mount with a wireless charger on it. I have a bunch of MagSafe battery packs and stuff like that wireless charge. And I have an Anker MagSafe Qi 2 stand on my nightstand that I charge this phone with on pretty much every night. And I do have other devices that I use, like sometimes I'll be using the Galaxy S25 Ultra or the Galaxy S25 Edge. And when I do that, this phone usually just sits on the charger, which isn't, too good for the battery. But for the most part, when I'm not using this device, when I'm trying out another phone or, messing around with Android or something like that, this is just sitting on a charger somewhere. So, like I said, very impressed with the battery health. And I kind of just wanted to report that at 200 cycles. I said I was going to do one at 150, but I kind of passed it faster than expected, running the iOS 26 beta and being on my phone a little bit more than I normally am. So I just kind of skipped that, or maybe it wasn't 150, maybe it was 175, but somewhere around there. I just went ahead and decided I would do a 200 cycle video. I probably will do a 250 cycle video just because that's usually where I see most people, like I said, start to drop off. But we'll report back at 250. So make sure you're subscribed and don't forget to hit that like button. Thank you guys for watching. Colin here with Techout. Don't forget to comment, rate, subscribe. Have a great day.